Well. Miss Letitia James done got herself indicted. Y'all know I got to talk about it, right? But before we get into that, make sure that you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit that like button so you can support what we're doing over here at D Stance. And thank you for all you guys that have been listening and tuning in. And let's get into it. So, Miss Letitia James has been indicted by the Trump administration. And I saw this coming from a mile away. Most of us that are black first in the black media, around the black media, listen to black media, saw this coming first because ultimately, you know, she was the guard dog for the Democrats. If you remember correctly, she was the main one that put the case on Trump, $450 million judgment. Everybody was excited. They thought they had Trump. They thought it was going to shut down his business in New York City. They thought they was going to get him out of town. But it didn't. I don't think they fully got the correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think they fully got. I don't think he has to pay the judgment just yet due to the fact that he's also in office. But also, I think the criminal charges they were trying to file against him got thrown out. So she didn't get a criminal ruling, but she did get the civil ruling saying that he had to pay the $400 judgment. Like I said, she was trying to get him and his family to not be able to practice real estate in New York City. I think for like up to 5 years. So like, yeah, she was hitting hard, and she was coming out every week, giving her speeches. And even when she became the prosecutor in New York City, she said to the effect of that she's going to go after Donald Trump, that he's going to know her name personally, that she's going to be a pain in his ass. And this is my thing, man, when I seen it all going down, because regardless of what you think about Trump, they did use the fact that they didn't like him and he was their political enemy to go after him. Now, you could be a person that thinks that he deserved it because isn't that, whatever. I'm not here to debate that. The point is they did use those cases that were placed on him by Fonnie Willis, and she gonna get her issue too. She's already getting it. And Letitia James, those were definitely cases of lawfare. And I remember sitting back watching this and thinking to myself, yo, if this man gets in office, that's a wrap. Like, he's definitely coming for her, you know what I mean? Because she was the most outspoken one. But also, he's coming for Fonnie Willis. He's coming for everybody, And that's what made it so much more hilarious watching the election. Not even hilarious, but made it more annoying watching the election last year was that everybody was going so hard. Like, just if you were paying attention last year, how hard everybody in the media was going, calling Trump Hitler and saying they was a threat to democracy because everybody was scared. They were all scared of what he's doing now, because Joe Biden did it to him. And they knew, like, dang, we didn't get this man cased up in time. We didn't get this man subdued in time. And so ultimately, if he does get back into power, he's coming after us. And so they fully expected this. Letitia James fully expected this. Fonnie Willis is expecting this. She's even more of a fool because she can't even keep her personal life from her work life. So whatever. But as far as Letitia James goes, she was definitely in the crosshairs of the Trump administration. So they got her on some mortgage fraud. She was lying about the amount of dwellings and buildings that she bought and to secure interest rates and that type of thing. Same sort of thing she was accusing Donald Trump of, ironically enough, just on a smaller scale. And I'm just going to go ahead and say it. I think she's going to be convicted of something. Because ultimately, for black people, there's no wiggle room for anything. And that's the point of this episode here. As black people, politicians, regular everyday black people, you need to mind who you go to war for and who you serve. See, Letitia James wanted to serve the Democratic Party. She wanted to serve Joe Biden administration because that's who gave her the orders to do this, by the way. She wanted to serve these people, do their bidding, go after Trump, put cases on him. And now that Trump's coming after her, where's Joe Biden? Why didn't Joe Biden issue her any pardons or anything for any crime she may have done or whatever? Why didn't he preemptively look out for Letitia James for anything? I mean, I don't know. I don't think you can issue preemptive pardons, but I'm pretty sure Joe Biden did that before he left office because he was worried about Trump doing exactly what he's doing. And he didn't want it to hit his family. But he didn't protect Letitia James. He didn't protect Fonnie Willis. He didn't protect any of his black women guard dogs who was doing this, who was chomping at the bit to try to come up in the game off Trump's skull, off Trump's scalp. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what that was all about. They used these sisters' ambition and told them, hey, Letitia, hey, Fonnie, if you do this, yo, sky's the limit for you, girl. You don't know. Hey, who knows? Governor in New York, vice president, Congress seat, Senate. They was filling all them sisters' heads up with all these ideas of grandeur, knowing that the risk was if you don't get Trump and he gets back in office, which was a high probability. They probably told these sisters like, yo, ain't no way Trump's going to be back in office. It's not that big of a deal. Don't worry about it. But ultimately, that was proven to be false because Trump built his base up. He built his political machine up and got himself reelected. And so now we're here. And, you know, the charges that the jail time she might be doing is not anything like she's not facing life or nothing like that. But the point of the matter is she might do some jail time. She might do some jail time because she did misrepresent the documents. I mean, that's just a fact. Now, whether her lawyers and all that could get it, whatever, that'll be what it is, you know, for the courts to litigate and adjudicate and things like that. But as far as my point is that you need to watch as black people when you out here, you know, in politics or even, like I said, on a one-on-one level, standing up for people, standing in the gap for people, creating enemies for people, particularly white people, in the name of white people, serving their interests. You got to always be wary of that. Because like I said, this woman did all of this, took her big swing, she missed, and maybe she knew one. She understood the risk, and she still took it, which to me makes her a dumb fool because there's other stuff she could have been doing in New York City. There's other stuff Fani Willis could have been doing in Georgia than trying to come up. And Fani Willis is they're both pretty egregious examples, but Fani Willis was really trying to come up off of Trump. Like, for real. She did a article, and she was doing the most. So, like, these women, they were trying to use Trump to come up. So they're, like, on some realness, listen, man. I understand lawfare is bad, and I understand that. And if this was just Trump doing this, I would not agree with it. But ultimately, after what I saw these last 4 years or so, with the Biden administration and with Fani Willis and with Letitia James and James Comey and all these people, hey, man, Trump is doing what he got to do because y'all were invested in tearing him down. Y'all just were. Y'all are not, like Letitia James in her speech was like, oh, I was just doing my job. Yes and no, because yes, it's your job to prosecute criminals, but it wasn't your job to process a former sitting president. And like, I just want people to think about that. He was the former president. Like, what former president has ever been charged with crimes? Out of everything that's ever happened, and a lot of stuff has happened, no former president has ever been charged with crimes. That doesn't mean that Trump is the first president that has ever been needed to be charged with crimes. I'm sure there's been other presidents. Richard Nixon is the other one that comes to mind. But no other president has ever been charged with crimes after leaving office. And they made sure that Trump it kept it in the media that Trump was the primary focus of criminal investigations. Multiple. Like I said, especially in New York City. Like I said, she was trying to shut him down in New York City. So, hey, man, God bless Letitia James. I hope your lawyer is strong. You know, I hope that, yeah, because I don't know, man. I just feel like with Marilyn Mosby, you going down, sis. Like I said, even if you got to do some months, even if it ain't nothing serious, whatever, they're going to get a criminal conviction on you. The Trump DOJ, they on your ass. And you did it to yourself because ultimately, like I keep saying, you got to be careful who you out here serving, man. And you got to be honest. Was Trump worth any of this? Let's just be honest. Was convicting Trump worth this? The honest answer is no, it wasn't. It wasn't. And I said it, and I'll say it again. If it was me, they'd have came to my office with that. Yo, we want you to. I'd say, what? Do what? Yo, man, this dude's a former president. Man, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not setting that precedent. You get somebody else to do that. See, that's the thing. They always want black people to set the precedents for their dirty work. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. You got a DOJ, Joe Biden. You put the charges on him. And Biden's DOJ did put charges on him. But she joined in the gang jumping. She joined in it because she wanted to get her pound of flesh. And she got it. She did get it. But it didn't kill Trump. And so he's back. And so she's in the crosshairs. And with that, man, I just say God bless, sisters. Just black people out there at the sound of my voice, just make sure that whenever you're putting yourself on the line for something, that something is something that would do the same for you, or that someone that something is something that you can do it for, that you could put your freedom or life or whatever livelihood on the line for. And if it's for someone, in the name of someone, or in the interest of someone else, make sure that that someone else will do the same for you. Because, like I said before, Joe Biden's nowhere to be found. He pardoned his son. He pardoned his confidants and himself, but he didn't pardon her. He didn't preemptively pardon her for any crimes that she may have done or anything like that. So, that goes to show you, like, as far as black people goes, in the system of white supremacy, we have no friends. And she was a tool of white supremacy. This woman and Fonnie Willis, Letitia James and Fonnie Willis, were both tools. And like I said, they were willing tools. They were glad to be out in front to try to consider themselves part of the anti-Trump and taking Trump down, because they were black women and they were the symbol. They were the face of the resistance. And they knew they could get the white powers behind them, knew that they could get clout out of the symbol of black women stepping forward to prosecute Trump. You know what I'm saying? And they were all for it. Like I said, CNN was all for it. Everybody was all for it. Now, I saw a clip on Twitter with your boy Anderson Cooper. He was talking about how, when she first got elected, she was talking about how she was going to go after Trump and be a pain in his ass, and he was going to know her name personally. And he was like, that's not something that should be said of a DA that is new, or attorney general that's newly elected. And I'm like, wow, how quick y'all flip on her. Y'all was broadcasting her, having her on every other week to give y'all updates and everything like that, and to get a conviction and all that. Now it's, she was a bit overzealous. So I'm trying to tell you, sisters, they set you up like hogs for the slaughter. But anyway, that was I'm Demetrius, and this has been D's Stance. So thank y'all until next week. Until next time, y'all. Peace.